Welcome back, everybody, to the JJ and Puck Show. It is 7/7/24.
I didn't even think I realized that.
July 7th. Happy birthday, America, 3 days ago.
Yes. How was your Independence Day?
You know, somebody asked me that doesn't live in Arizona. It's like, it's the way it is every year. It's hot and miserable, but happy birthday, America. Like, that's what it is. I mean, I don't.
What do you do here? I've never. Well, I take that back. I have worked on Independence Day before, so I know how that is. But other than that, what do you do when you're like, I don't even know where to go other than Tempe Town Lake?
No, I'm not going there and sweating through that and dealing with that traffic. Like, there's no chance. Like, so what we ended up doing is for our church, we had a pancake breakfast in the morning that I had to help cook with. So me and my brother-in-law and a buddy of ours went out there and we just cooked pancakes and bacon, slammed it out, fed everybody. When I got done with that, my wife and the kids, they went to the movies with their grandma. Okay, so after that, I was like, all right, well, I'll work out at home.
Me time.
Yeah, so I just worked out. And then we went swimming at our neighbor's house. And then we did fireworks from their garage and called it a night. Oh, you know what I did do, though? Because I do this every year. Started Independence Day.
Oh, of course. You got to watch it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that they play it on TV, too. So, like, if you aren't in the mood to watch it, but it's on, you know you're going to watch it. Yeah, you got to watch it.
Dude, it's one of the things. So I put it on the list of things I want to talk about a while ago. Sharing, like, your childhood loves with your kids and then having them. This is one of them for me. Because last year, Benson watched a little bit. But he was 6. You know, so it's still one of those things where it's like, it was kind of over his head, a lot of it.
Well, isn't it crazy how just 1 year, dramatically their brains evolve?
Things change so quickly. So, but this year we decided it's like, okay, I'm going to watch this in the 3 days because it starts on July 2nd, right? And then it's July 3rd. And then July 4th is the final big fight, right? I made the mistake of starting the movie on July 4th. So we just finished it last night. But, dude, he was so invested. Didn't miss a second. Was sitting there, eyes wide open. Cool. He was so into it. It was so awesome. I love stuff like that. I love being able to introduce him to new things that I loved and him have the exact same reaction. So I'm like, yeah, so this is cool. Like, it reaches generations upon generations. One of those was Indiana Jones. It's about time you watch it, dude.
I have watched it. I went to Disneyland. I'm fine. I understand how it all works, dude.
Not the same.
Big boulder, snake, whatever, bumpy ride. It's fine.
Snakes. No, but he's got to the point now where he's pushing me. He's like, dude, let's watch Indiana Jones 5. Let's do it. And I'm kind of like, buddy, you know, a movie every night is a little much for me. Like, I got to have some breaks in there.
Dude, Independence Day. You know, that movie, like Aliens, I'm not scared of a lot of things, but Aliens, the idea of aliens is almost terrifying, right? Like, the movie Signs, remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that movie was, because they took it a step farther and made it all camouflaged and all kinds of stuff, right? So they didn't just make it the traditional, like, weird-headed alien. It was hey, look, it can be standing next to you and it blends in. Yeah, like, you're just like, okay, now you've taken the whole fear to a whole new level.
Dude, I have 2 fantastic memories of the movie Signs. Got me 2 girlfriends.
Oh.
Right? And it was... Like, the first one was when I was, like, 16 years old, right?
Okay.
We go to a girl's house who lives out. Back then, Queen Creek was the edge of civilization. There was nothing beyond.
Just the Circle K.
It was exactly. And she lived by the Circle K. Yeah. But this one was actually the one on Power and Chandler Heights.
Okay.
Not the one on Ellsworth and Ocotillo. Anyway, so and we went to her house, and we're watching. It's the first time me and this girl hung out. Maybe the second time. I think it was the second time. But it was one of those things where, like, my friend says that she likes you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to call her, and then you got to go pick her up. Like, it's the way things were done in high school, right?
Right. When we didn't have phones and text messaging and all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So I showed up to her house with her friend. Her friend goes up, knocks on the door, brings her out. We go to the movies. Dude, we lay down to watch this show because there's no couch anymore. It's just the floor. Within the first, 5 seconds, she's too, quote-unquote, scared. So she has to hold my hand. And from then on, it was like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. I don't care what happens.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, it was like
the simple joys of being 16.
The simple joys of being 16, exactly.
You were like, yes.
Exactly. Oh, man, it was fantastic. But ever since then, dude, I'll tell you what, I nearly crapped my pants in that part when they're showing the alien. You first see him in Brazil.
When it walks across.
When it walks across the alleyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, I didn't think they were going to see it. When I saw it, I was like, ah!
Yeah,
no way!
Like I said, they did a great job of making it like human, but not, and just everything about it was just so good. And the way the movie goes, it's so well done.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just Mel Gibson, I think he directed that, right?
No, it was
I know he
M.
was
Night
in
Shyamalan.
it. It was M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, he was in it. No,
he was in it. It was Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. And I love when he's like, okay, outside of a really tall Scandinavian Olympian or whatever, when he's telling, is there anybody else that you could think of or something, whatever he says, it's just funny because of that guy, the way it jumped over the house or whatever. But.
Yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix, the way he was in that movie was so funny.
Yeah.
It was very funny. Like when you watch it now, you look back and you're like, dude, this is actually a lot funnier. Because then I
You
was
were
on the edge of
scared.
my seat scared, dude.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do scary movies.
No, I still
movies.
don't do scary movies.
No, 100%
I just don't like them.
No, in fact, remember we were talking about this. You still haven't seen Stranger Things.
No.
Because
Because they say it's terrible. No, it's like, okay, I don't know what it is about. Like, I grew up watching terrible movies, like that. But I don't, as I've gotten older, I'm like, I have no. These people that go watch The Omen, The Nun, all these crazy, satanic, horrible, scary movies. Okay, I still don't want to go to New Mexico because of that movie Hills Have Eyes. Like seriously, like have you seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Bro, it's all about like inbreeding on a nuclear site, like a area, dude. It's crazy because you know what? It's possible.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, right? Like or like the movie Wrong Turn. You ever seen that? Dude, I grew up watching some terrible things. but college kids, they get stuff. They take a back road, which I'll never do if I'm in Pennsylvania. And,
I've heard people say similar things about Georgia.
Right.
When it comes
I won't do
deliverance.
it. Yeah, I won't do it because all of us they break down, and then now they get chased around by these inbred people, and they get eaten. They're cannibalistic, and you're like, "Yep, not gonna happen." But again, possible.
Yeah, that's very possible.
In fact, there was a Netflix documentary on a family that is like super inbred in Virginia, and they did this whole documentary on them. And one of them is like he barks for like to talk. He can't communicate. He's like a autistic mute, but he can bark. Dude, I'm telling you, you gotta watch it. It's crazy.
I have no desire to watch this.
It's so crazy.
I cannot enunciate the level of desire that I have below zero for this.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying but all those kind of movies scare me because you wonder like
they're possible.
Where do they get the idea? You don't just wake up one day and say, "Hey, let's make up an inbred family that's cannibalistic and eating people that break down."
I don't know, man.
I feel like if you're waking up like that, you're falling asleep in a bad place, dude.
No, that's not wrong. That's not wrong. But I will say that, because remember, I don't know if you remember this. This was a long time ago. I said one of my least favorite phrases is "you can't write this." It's like people literally write this crap all the time. The weirdest things in the world are written, and we read it all the time. This whole conversation started from Independence Day. That didn't come from real life. That came from someone's imagination.
Well, but like
not as messed up as the crap you're talking about.
Right, that's what I'm saying though. That's like that was scary in the sense not scary. It was just the movie. The thought of aliens, right, is something that nobody can confirm nor deny, right? We all have that suspect, like, and there's the idea like, oh yeah, there are other existence or other worlds out there. Like we can't be the only world with civilization. That's an interesting thought people have, right? But are they built in our likeness? Are they built in Like I would love to see Roswell or if there is a bunker in Nevada, like I feel like why are they not releasing the photos of them? Like let's see what really's there.
I do. That's a good question. I'll tell you this. I just had this conversation with my buddy not too long ago. I find it to be incredibly hard to believe that we are the only planet with any life in the entire existence of everything.
Well, right.
That is so
maybe
hard
in our
believe.
solar system of 9 or 8 planets and one wannabe planet, like or halfway planet. Yeah.
R.I.P. baby.
Yeah. So maybe sure, but outside of ours, like it's not. I don't know. It's just like how can we think that are we that self-absorbed where we think we're the only possible thing that could be sitting here on a podcast? You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out. That's
see, and that's where for me it is very hard for me to believe that we are the only planet with life. Yes, in our solar system, okay, I can believe that because of the habitable zone that researchers talk about, like you have to be X amount of distance from whatever sun you are, atmospheres, blah, blah, blah. All that, fine. But you want to tell me that there's not another solar system out there that doesn't have the same set of 8 planets and a wannabe planet? Like, yeah, that's where I'm like, hard for me to
I'm just not saying no. I'm not saying it's a for sure, but I'm like, I would never say never, right? Like in that case, you're like, no way. You can't, there's no way to even prove that. Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it's not true.
Right. Now, that's true. I will say this. Someone would have to convince me with irrefutable evidence that it's impossible that another planet doesn't have life. And I don't think that that's possible to get that evidence because we can't explore that deep into space.
We can't even go to Mars. Like we're trying to people are it seems 8 months to even get to Mars.
Yeah.
Like, and then dude, have you seen that movie Rocket Man? back in the day.
Yes.
Funny, like,
we farts in the oxygen tube, and he sees the big old lump coming. Yes, dude. Oh,
and he sleeps in the chimpanzee one because he gets kicked out of the other one, and he wakes up halfway. That's just a funny old school movie.
Dude, that's a solid 90s reference.
Yeah,
right
for sure.
Rocket Man. Whatever happened to that guy, dude?
I don't know. He was the motorcycle cop in Dumb and Dumber.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Sucking back on Grandpa's old cop medicine.
Yeah. Tic Tac, sir.
Get out of here. Oh, that's some good stuff, dude.
Oh, it's funny.
All right, so we decided what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of split this week up into two parts. First part, sports, which there's not a lot going on right now. We heavily covered NBA free agency already.
I don't know what's left. There's not much going on besides baseball. And baseball's in the beginning of baseball, nobody ever really cares about because it changes so dramatically.
Yes.
Like, you never know who's going to be in the hunt for October. Like, you just don't. Like, because teams go so up and down, it's crazy.
And right now, we are at the midpoint of the season. And the midpoint is the Diamondbacks are 45-45. We are 500 today because they won in San Diego, right? But that's about it. There really isn't anything else going on. I mean, you and I don't watch the WNBA, so we're not going to pretend to comment on that. I have been watching.
I have been watching the WNBA a little bit, and it's only because I'm a Caitlin Clark, like, I don't want to call her a fan.
Supporter.
But I do. I just like that she's trying to bring an image to the WNBA for all women to kind of like a player who's an actual player, right? She's the first rookie. She just a night ago?
Was it last night or 2 nights ago? Yeah.
Became the first rookie since 2022 or the 2022 season. You know what I think?
I thought it was the first rookie
ever.
ever.
It was the first rookie ever to record a triple-double and the first one since the 2022 season in general.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, right? I know everybody's on this like Angel Reese. She's killing it with double-doubles. You got to give credit where credit's due. She's in the double digits for double-doubles in the season.
Yeah, I think
already.
she set a record for the most consecutive double-double
Right,
games.
and she's doing really well. But
which, for those of you who don't know, double-double basically means you have double-digit points and double digits any other statistical
rebounds,
category.
assists.
Usually rebounds or assists. If you get in double-digit blocks and steals, you are amazing. Yes.
And
That's
a
a
triple-double meaning three of those, three double-digit ones of some
three
sort.
double-digit categories.
Typically, it's points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, because those are the easiest ones to rack up in the double digits.
So you see her; she's balling out, dude. She's fun to watch. Now, I mean, it's not. I hate to say it's not good basketball, but it's not. It's just so different.
It's very different. It's
they airball. It is not uncommon to see airball multiple times by a team in a game. In the NBA, that doesn't happen.
No, if it happens once, that is subject of ridicule for weeks.
Right, and LeBron does it on like free throws very occasionally. Like, it's really weird.
It is a rarity.
Right, he does it, but like most people don't brick that bad where they hit nothing. The WNBA, I'll bet you it's at least 10, 20 times a game there's an airball.
Are you serious?
I don't know why. Like, it's just what's crazy is Caitlin. She's pretty advanced with her. She sees the floor really well, but her people cannot finish for her.
No, I'll say
they miss the passes. Just like, holy crap.
The clips that I have seen, and because I remember a couple of weeks ago I was talking about the fact that she was leading the league in turnovers, and that was the only statistical category that she was leading the league in. And so after that, I kind of felt like, man, that's probably being a little bit rough. I mean, rookies, they turn over the ball. Like, that's, especially if you're the point guard. Yeah. It's going to happen. Because, rookies, if you're a point guard, you're going to turn the ball over. It's going to happen. It's no big deal. Or it is a big deal, but, it's an understandable deal is what I'm saying. So I went back and looked at some of those turnovers, and some of them were like, dude, the ball is right where you need to have that ball. How on earth did you not read the pass coming to you? How did you not see the ball coming to you? And that ended up out of bounds. It's a turnover on Caitlin Clark because the person she passed it to was completely unaware of what was going on.
And you know what I think it is? And this is not, it's athleticism. They're just not athletic enough to make those plays like she's trying to get them to. It's in the right zone. It's right where it is. But the athleticism between men and women is so drastically different that those kind of plays, Caitlin's just advanced for a female, quite honestly. For her to see the floor and to make those throws, you're going to have to be on your game. And a lot of these women are not used to that yet. I think it'll come.
Right. And I also think something to be should be said for the fact that she got drafted to the worst team in the league.
Of course.
By a large margin. And the players on that team did not change.
No.
And so
players are making $70,000 a year there.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, they're nobodies.
Yes. And so obviously, and not only that, but there's also something to be said for a guy or lady that comes into a league. playing the way, like, let's say a Steph Curry plays or the way a Steve Nash plays, and that is with the no-look passes, with the fancy passes, with, a lot of the dribble moves and things like that, the long-distance shot. That kind of changes the way the rest of the team feels the game because they're not used to playing the game that way.
Oh, I agree. And
so
they have to
there's got to be some growth.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's going to be growth there. Like, you ain't going to come in and just all of a sudden be killing it. There's no team mesh. There's no bonding. There's no understanding who's going to be where, trusting each other. It's going to take time. But I have paid attention more to WNBA because of her and just, again, what she's bringing to the sport because she was electric in college.
Yeah.
And the WNBA will never be the NBA. It won't even be a fraction of notable.
Which I don't think that they have any expectation to be.
I don't know. I think they're trying to be something because they gave that whole charter plane thing where they think they're going to make all this money where they're now flying their own planes. I'm like, dude, why?
What I think that they're really trying to do is the only sport that they really have to compete with is baseball. Because in the summertime, because in the summertime, there's nothing else.
They're just dude. The average viewership for a fever game is way more than anywhere else.
Yeah, it has exploded. Not just that, but like attendance across the league and TV ratings across the league has exploded.
Yep.
So good things. Like I said, the only thing they have to compete with is baseball. They're not competing with football. They're not competing with college sports. There's no college sports right now. It's just the Major League Baseball, and eventually it's going to be. Well, actually, no, because they take a break for the Olympics. They don't have to compete with the Olympics.
Oh, I love the Olympics.
I know, dude. I was actually thinking as I'm driving home from my parents, we had dinner there today, and I was like, the things we're going to talk about, it's going to be baseball, and Jason's just going to have to suck it up. And I rose, I'm like, I'm going to have to suck it up when it's the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to suck it up and just be like,
I'm good
talk
with
about
baseball.
it, dog.
I've learned about it. I'm paying attention to things, like I've seen Shohei Ohtani or whatever.
Shohei
Ohtani was the first player in NBA or in MLB history to get hit by a pitch, have multiple walks, have a triple, and a home run all in the same game.
Dude, when did that happen?
I don't know. I just read about it today.
Oh,
just read it. I was scrolling through SportsCenter stuff.
Dude, I'll tell you this, man. He's an absolute freak. Shohei Ohtani is a freak.
Yeah.
Dude is throwing the ball as a pitcher. He's not doing it this year because he tore his UCL ligament in his.
Wait, did you just say UCL ligament?
I said UCLA.
No, but UCL ligament.
UCL ligament.
Is it? What does the L stand for?
Oh my gosh! Shut up, dude. I just finally caught myself from saying UCLA. The UCL. There you go. Which is the ulnar collateral ligament. I think that's what it's called. So, yeah. In the elbow. And pitchers injure it all the time. And if they injure it, you have to get Tommy John surgery. You're out for a year at least. No throwing for like 9 months. No throwing. So he's just hitting right now. That's all he's doing. He's a designated hitter for the Dodgers, and he's crushing it.
Yeah.
He's a unicorn, dude. We use that term, I think, a little too loosely to explain, guys that are really good players. But like, I think certain guys, it truly uses to describe.
That's a good definition.
He's the baseball unicorn, and then you think Victor Wembanyama in basketball, he's a unicorn. I mean,
he's still young. I'm curious
but
dude,
he's 7'5".
I know.
He can shoot and dribble and pass and block. Like, do you see the amount of guys that would drive into the lane against the San Antonio Spurs were one of the worst teams in the league, by the way. But dude, the breaks, the ultimate U-turns. Anytime the guys were driving the lane and they'd see him nearby, like, nope, never mind.
Too long.
Yep, gonna pass this one out.
His wingspan actually is.
Oh, dude, it's got to be close to 8 feet. Yeah, it's got to be. It's like 7. It's got to be 7'11", 7'10", something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is, dude. And it's crazy is he can move. Like, we've seen.
He weighs like 120 pounds.
I know. Do you look at that guy and it is all limbs?
I mean, if somebody falls into his shin on accident, like just trips and falls into his shin, I feel like there's the tib-fib snap.
Dude,
over.
Oh, I know. I
you better
think of guys
like drink your milk, buddy.
Dude, I think of guys like Steven Adams and Jonas Valanciunas. I'm like, oh, dude, if they got the ball down low and they just bang up against this guy, boom, 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 he's got to give at some point, but he doesn't.
Dude, if Zion runs into him on the ground somehow, like 280-pound dude just falling over you.
What's really crazy is Zion's the one that's going to get hurt in that.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, you're probably right.
Zion he's freaking paper, man. I don't get it. I don't know. Like you said, for a guy built like that, how is it that he can get hurt doing nothing?
It's probably because he's built like that.
Yeah,
like
probably.
It's just all that force and weight coming out. Because if you think about it, we all have the same thing in our bodies, right? Nobody's made. I mean, people are made a little differently, but ligament's a ligament. Like, you know what it is? And dude,
muscles are muscles.
That's a lot of weight coming down and force. Like, remember that show, Sports Science?
Oh, dude, we've done
great
breakdowns
show.
on sports
Yeah,
science. It's
that was
freaking
a
awesome.
Great show. And when they would talk about that kind of stuff, measuring the force, the impact of a jump of a guy weighing whatever.
Yeah.
Or, Larry Fitzgerald and how much range he really had.
The catch range.
Yeah.
I remember when they did the Larry special, dude. That one was freaking
cool. That's a good show, man. I missed that show.
Dude, that one, and it was Pros versus Joes. We said needs to come
that's
back.
right.
Those are the shows we're like, dude, we need to see more of this stuff again.
I just want to see a bunch of keyboard warriors get smashed.
Dude, the thing about those two shows specifically, like Joes versus Pros.
Pros versus
has
Joes.
to come back because, like you said, the keyboard warriors out there who think they can do anything that the pros can do, or at least compete with them. I would love to see the guys because when it comes to this, I really am interested. I want to see a junior college basketball team, men's, go up against the WNBA. I don't know what would happen.
I do.
I know you said that. I don't, because there is something to be said for the skill and knowledge of basketball versus just the strictly athleticism. Because there's tons of super athletic guys in the league that are no good, that never play.
Boy, the question would be, what ball do you play with?
Because
I think now
that's a good
I
question.
think if you on the woman's side, it's going to be heavier, so you're going to have a harder shot. Like it's bigger, it's a little heavier. But on the flip side, you're going to have dudes shooting the ball too far.
Yeah, they're going to go right over the backboard.
Yeah. So you're wondering like how, and maybe that's why you'll never see it, is because that's every other game. Well, baseball and softball different, right? Different sized balls, but everything else is kind of like tennis and whatnot.
Dude, oh my gosh, I remember this. So my freshman year in baseball, the varsity softball team wanted to play us. And we were the freshman team. So like, yeah, sure, we'll play you guys. Like, what else? We got no pride on the line or anything like that. We're the freshman baseball team. Dude, I've never hit a home run in my life. I hit many that game.
Hitting softballs?
Hitting softballs, dude. Those things coming across the plate, it was like, dude, it was like
giant,
watching a watermelon come in. I can't miss this. Like it was, and again, I was in baseball. I was a leadoff hitter. I was a center fielder. My only job was get on base and steal second and third. That was what I did every time. I could never hit the ball super hard, right? Or I'd walk, but I'd get a hit, get a walk, get on base, steal second, steal third, and then wait for someone to knock me in. Like that's what I did every single time. Dude, playing in that softball game, it was like, I feel like Babe freaking Ruth, baby.
Yeah, that's funny.
Jacking things
even
over
them
the fence.
pitching it, coming out the ball coming out the bottom.
Yeah, like I said, it's just that much bigger. Like it was just.
Were they pitching on like their field though?
Yeah, it was on the softball field.
The reaction time's quicker too, right? Because it's a lot less. Like it's only, I think, what's the mound in pitching?
I don't remember,
feet?
but it's definitely shorter.
It's definitely. I think it's 45 feet. I think it's 45 feet as opposed to 60.
And not only that, but like the outfield fence wasn't near as deep.
Oh
as
yeah,
our baseball.
that's a whole other thing.
So I mean, it's like a whole. That's all.
You're playing on a little league field, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. But I just remember being like, "Holy crap!" Like I felt so freaking big time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that's the reason why I want to see the pros versus Joes. Like, okay, if we take a bunch of lifetime fitness guru guys, throw them on the court up against the WNBA All Stars, I want to see what would happen. I do,
because I
don't know.
Ballers at some of those gyms, dude.
No,
Lifetime
right.
Fitness is no joke. Maybe you should use like 24-hour fitness. Just kidding.
Or maybe we take, like I said, like a junior college, like MCC.
No. I think you can't do that. I don't know, because of athleticism. It's got nothing to do with talent. It's just pure athleticism.
But that's why I want to see it. That's probably the biggest keys, because Diana Taurasi, definitely not the most athletic player in the league still a very good player in the WNBA. Still can get a bucket. That's because she is skilled and she has like that base basketball knowledge. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of know people's weaknesses, things that you're not even really thinking about from a perspective of like just a viewer, but an actual player knows how to like bite at this person's left hand versus their right hand. You know what I mean? Like drive left, not right. Things like that. Like just little basketball knowledge things that you don't really pick up on. Players like that versus guys that are like, dude, I'm just bigger and faster. I'm just gonna blow past you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to see where those converge.
I want to see where it works too. But I want to see Brittany Griner go up against a dude who's how tall is Brittany Griner? I don't even know.
6'8".
Okay, which is huge.
It's a very tall human.
Huge for a human, let alone a chick, right?
Yes.
So, but I would like to see her go up against a dude who's 6'6" and just see what happens.
And see what?
Because her vertical is 21 inches.
Yeah.
The guy's vertical is probably close to 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. Again, it's one of those things where it just interests me because really I want to see where does the intersection of skill and athleticism intersect. Like, where does that and how important is it? Because we know in the NBA you have to have both.
Yeah,
You have to have both to succeed in the NBA. But at what point can you like converge those two things to be like, okay, they're equal at this level? I don't know. Pros versus Joes. Come on, bring it back, baby.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Well, I remember watching the swimming one, where like they would just hold their breath, right? And it's impressive that a swimmer, he held his breath for over 4 minutes.
That's insanity.
And you're like, how
do you know?
How do you
die?
like? Okay,
how do you get straight pass out?
Can you even drown, bro? Like if you didn't suck water, like outside of choking on water,
I love that question.
Bro,
are you a fish?
Are you like? Can you even drown? Like if you can hold your listen. If you're in a terrible situation,
why that is so funny to me. That is so funny.
Listen, if you're in a terrible situation in the water, right, and you're this swimmer or a swimmer, and you are now underwater, you're like, okay, I got 4 minutes to think of it. I feel like with 4 minutes of time, I'd be able to get out of anything underwater, like outside of something laying on top of me where I can't move.
Yeah, I can tell you this right now, the thing that gives me the most amount of anxiety, and to the point where I will almost have to stand up and walk away, is if I'm watching a movie and there has anything to do with underwater where someone's got to hold their breath to go and save somebody. Because I know for me, 30 seconds, I'm dead. 30 seconds and I'm dead. And the fact that those scenes can go on for what seems to be like 30 minutes, but in reality it's probably 5 minutes. It's like, there's no way. There's no way they're alive. They can't live through that. It's impossible.
Yeah, they drag that on for sure a lot longer. But
oh, dude. Oh, that kind of stuff just terrifies me. But, dude, the fact that when you ask that question, can they even drown?
Well, like if you think, and I don't mean choking on water. You can choke on a tablespoon of water. We all know that that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about just the fact that, like, look, you've got 4+ minutes
to get up to the surface,
to figure it out. Like, not 30 seconds like you and I would have, right? Dude. Maybe 45 if I'm lucky. And you're going to pass out before you die, from what I understand. So you're like, all right, you know what? It is what it is at that point. But I'm just saying, like, if I had 4+ minutes,
all right. I tell you this right now, I couldn't even fathom that. I could not even fathom. Dude, we've been talking about this subject for less than 4 minutes.
Imagine holding your breath the whole time. The whole time.
No freaking way.
No
way. Pros versus Joes, bring it back. I could do without sports science if I had to pick one of the two. Yeah. I want both, but dude, Pros versus Joes was so awesome. I got a question for you, man. One, do you want to take a pause here? We'll take a pause.
Sure.
Thank you for taking a break real quick. You're in the middle of the episode of JJ and Pug Show you are currently listening to, whichever day that may be. We wanted to say thank you again for taking the time to listen to our show, listen to our antics, listen to our takes, and listen to these sometimes ridiculous opinions we come up with, which are 100% organic and truthful and true to ourselves. Having said all of that, you know what you need to do. You need to share this podcast with your friends. Send it to them. Let them know that you're listening. Let them know what you like about it. And most importantly, reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to give us that feedback and let us know the things that you would like for us to talk about. That way we can give you, our fans, the things that you both want and need and improve our show positively each and every single episode. The second thing that you need to do is reach out to us and buy a shirt. Show everyone your support of the JJ and Pug Show by wearing that awesome shirt that we had designed with our amazing logo on there. And that way all your friends will know what the best show to listen to when they got some time to put the headset in and listen to some awesome fun stuff. Again, thank you for everybody for all the support. We're going to get back to the show right about now. All right, so the question I wanted to ask you is this. Now, we all know that we've lost the Arizona Coyotes, right? They're now the Utah Hockey Club in Salt Lake City. If you had the choice to bringing back or, resurrecting, creating a new, whatever you want to call it, new sports franchise here in the Phoenix area, would you rather have a new hockey team or would you rather have an MLS soccer team? Knowing that the challenges for both are need a new arena for the hockey team, and we would need an indoor soccer stadium because soccer is a summer sport, and Arizona is very hot for those of you who did not know.
Yeah, somebody I saw a meme that said, "Hey, I want to go to Arizona in July. What's the weather like? Have you ever been to being cremated or something?" Was the answer? It's like being cremated.
You ever been in an oven?
Yeah, you ever been in an oven? No. So I don't know, dude. I mean, here's the problem I have with. You know what? I'd rather have a WMLS, a women's league.
Okay.
Because this is going to be controversial for all you soccer people, but listen, guys, soccer is okay. It's good. But they are such babies. It drives me bonkers,
dude.
bro.
Okay.
Like bonkers. Now, there is a significant difference between watching girls play, even at a younger age, like my kids when they're teenagers, versus watching boys play, right?
Yeah.
So I can't handle the flopping, rolling around, like all this like dramatic selling of some kind of crap foul, right? Just like, and then what's funny, as soon as they get the call, they jump up like no big deal. Like, okay, it is what it is. I think, all right, have you been watching the Copa America?
I was actually going to say, so I'm not sure if you saw this on the list. What's the very last item?
I don't even know.
It is soccer flops.
Oh. Yeah.
Because, dude, I've been watching the Euros and I've been watching Copa America. And it is astounding to me. It really is how any contact where if you've lost connection of the ball, you're on the ground and you're holding, it's always the same thing. It's always the freaking shin.
Bro, and I love that they are like, they'll wheel out like a guy. They'll like, they wave over the guy with the backboard and stuff. You're like, bro, he's gonna, fine.
Yeah,
and then he gets off the field and he pops right back up and he's back in the game. You're like, dude, are you kidding me?
Or you get those guys that lay on the ground when the action's going all around them and the ref's not blowing the whistle and they're just staying there. And it's like, dude, get up. Your team is playing a man down right now because you can't get your balls and just say, hey, I'm going to man up on this one. Like, I didn't get touched.
And so I'm convinced that soccer players are men that don't like contact. That's why they didn't play football.
Yeah.
That's not a knock on them. I'm just saying they don't, because if you're a guy who likes contact, people in football get an American football. Or rugby get demolished and they get right back up and keep playing.
Yeah.
Soccer is the biggest flop thing ever, and it makes them look so weak. It just drives me crazy.
Dude, we've had this discussion lots of times about basketball because it's the same thing. Like, how can you look yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm man enough for this? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because it's one thing to try and sell a foul. It's another thing to stay on the ground for forever.
Yeah.
And act like you are dead. But the minute the action resumes, you pop back up like nothing's wrong. So we've been watching a lot of the Euros and Copa America, like I said. And I say we, I mean me and Benton. I've got it on. Benton will be walking through the room like, oh, hey, what's this, Dad? And he'll sit down. Who are we rooting for? It's like, I don't care. And he'll pick a color that he likes. And that's who he's going to be rooting for. Whatever. And we're watching Uruguay and Brazil today. And I don't remember who it was. Somebody fell on the ground and just stayed there while the ball was getting passed all around. And Benton is like, why doesn't he get up? His team needs him. And I'm like, you got
Play
me, dude.
football, son.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, son. Like, that's just, I guess that's the way this game is played.
It is, and it tries. That's why. So if it's a women's team, now women are, dude, they're mean. Like,
dude, I love watching Women's World Cup so much.
It is so much better. Like,
dude, because it's straight competition.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say there isn't any flopping, but the amount, because again, when I'm watching these leagues that we're talking about now, these tournaments, it's all the time. It's
constant,
all the time.
Constant. That's why you get these stoppages that are, the time that ends like 8 minutes.
Yes.
Because you guys have been flopping on the ground like
all
dead
game.
fish for that long,
dude. It really is frustrating. It's very annoying to watch.
So I think hockey would be my choice unless it was a women's soccer.
Okay.
Because of that. Now, hockey, I've never been to a game. I always wanted to go, and I missed my shot. And maybe someday I'll be in another city somewhere, and I'll go to, like, a Predators game or something back east. I don't know, somewhere.
Go to Nashville, baby.
That would, yeah. What was that? Is that the Nashville Predators?
Nashville Predators, yeah.
So
the worst team name in one of our drafts.
Yeah,
remember?
That's right.
That's why
I knew that off the top of my head. Okay. So that would be cool. Like, but I don't know. Hockey would be cool here, but again, it's weird. Like, hockey's kind of there's definitely a community for it.
Oh
here.
yeah.
And the kids like it. These rinks around that are local. Kids play. Like I know a guy that I played in fantasy football with. His son played hockey, grew up here, played hockey the whole time, and he took out a scholarship to go play in North Carolina.
Yeah, one of the best players in the NHL right now, Austin Matthews, is from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah. So we don't have like ponds out back that are frozen.
No.
It's all ice rinks.
One of the things that I've always had a hard time with when it comes to hockey specifically here, it's not that it doesn't work. Clearly it does. It's that if you want your kids to play it, you better be willing to shell out a lot of cash for it and spend a lot of time in the car because you're going to have to drive to the because we don't have a hockey rink on every corner here.
No.
Right? There's like
There's
4.
one in Gilbert and one in Scottsdale. I'm sure there's one on the west side somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. There might be like 4 for each part of the valley. There's not a ton of them. And so you got to drive your kid all the way there, sit through the whole practice, and then drive them home, not to mention the cost of equipment and the time it takes to join those leagues. Like, it's an expensive sport to be a part of here. It's a very expensive sport to be a part of.
It's all expensive, bro.
You're right.
I just paid $1,200.
Oh, dude, don't make me vomit right now.
For jersey sets, like your uniform kits, $600 a piece for each kid. And the worst part is I couldn't choose what I didn't want. That was what you had to get. There were the only optional thing on there was a backpack, and you got to have a backpack to put your ball, and you got to have your number on your backpack. Well, she can't use her old one because it's got a different number.
That's so stupid,
dude. Every 2 years the club does this, and you have to get a whole new uniform kit, and you're like, I have 2 kids in club though, and they're like, dude, they don't like that. Okay, it's $1,200. I'm like, you.
Dude, I've told my wife many times, I'm like, we're not doing club sports.
You have to.
I'm not going to.
I know, but I'm telling you, it just sucks that you have to because if you want Benton to now again, maybe not so much, but football's really expensive though too. Like Pop Warner's no joke. Like,
no, but we won't do
special
Pop Warner.
forces and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah,
I don't think you need to. I think you can
do
play flag or do something until then our school stuff. But when you get in like these other sports, let's say Benton takes into soccer. Dude, you ain't making a high school team unless you're on the club team.
I know.
That's the unfortunate part. And so what that means is you're not going to go to scholarship because you're not going to, if he wants to do all that, he's going to have to play.
See, here's the thing,
They've cornered the whole thing.
I know. And one of the things that makes me very angry about that is like, I just got in this argument with my sister when it came to like the whole scholarship thing because her kids play volleyball and they're very good. And like the thing is if they're good, they can play for the school team and they'll get noticed that way. Right? And her argument was like, no, they don't anymore. Now they only get noticed at club tournaments because a coach will go to a tournament and watch all the kids from all the different places play instead of having to go to an individual school to watch them play.
I don't know that to be true. Like, I mean, she's probably more versed in that. Like,
I argued it hard that it wasn't true, but then my other sister, whose sons are very good at basketball up in Montana, they have to do the exact same thing. They have to be on a travel team to hit these interstate tournaments. So a coach sitting up in the bleachers can be like, where's that kid from? I like that kid. All right, let's take a look at this kid later on. But I was not going to Billings, Montana to watch him play there in their gym.
So Lexi,
yeah,
she didn't even have to try out, and she made an up team because a coach had came to tournaments and watched her play. She had hurt her ankle enough to where, like, I was like, look, I just need to know if she needs to push it to try to make this guy's team. Because it's a 2-team. She was on a 3-team. Now she's on a 2-team, and the coach is a lot better. And it's not like a building kind of team, right? It's an actual legit competitive team. And the coach was like, nope, she's good. She don't need to try out. I don't need her to hurt herself. I've already seen what I've seen. He didn't go to any high school games, nothing. He just and now I know at least. So I mean, it does happen. Like, I mean, yeah. She benefited from it. She, like, literally, she went to 4 days of tryouts. Everybody's out there sweating, and she's standing there in jeans. And and what pissed off some of the former her other friends were they didn't make the 2-team, and they went to tryouts.
No.
And I, like, one of the parents, dude, I can't wait to run into him again because he's a Kevin, right? and I like him. I actually do. I like pushing his buttons. I don't mind him. Everybody else, he drives everybody else crazy, but because he's just got an opinion about everything, and it's always negative. But his daughter didn't make it. She's on a 3-team still, and I think he's pissed that, like, Lexi didn't have to try out.
Hey,
and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like,
here's the thing that my nephews used to do this when we would try and plan something in the summertime. Like, no, I got to go to summer ball. I'm like, listen, guys, if you're good, you'll play.
Yeah.
The coach does not want to play an inferior player. If you're better than the guy ahead of you, you're going to play.
But a lot of these kids are getting better because they're playing so much, and they also get burnt out. Don't get me wrong. This is not. I'm not a fan of the club thing in the sense that I think colleges are more interested in somebody that's a multi-sport athlete than they are just a person that's played club whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think it shows that you're versatile. You can adapt a little bit, and you've got different features or strengths, right? But these kids, it's hard, man. It's hard not
it
to.
is, but it's also one of the things we talked about this with Coach a long time ago. If you specialize early, the chances that you burn out are higher.
Agreed.
Not to mention the wear and tear you put on those muscles playing that one sport all the time. It's like, no, your body, especially at this young age, needs to develop in different ways. You need to play different sports and do different things, and that's the reason why we have different seasons.
Well, it's become a monopoly, and it's all about money.
I know that's
all it is.
That's about it.
That's all it is. Nobody cares about the kids. It's all about money. And any club director that's like, no, we care, I will call you out all day long, because if you cared, you wouldn't charge what you charge.
Yeah.
And more people would play.
Exactly.
But you don't, because you make parents go into credit card debt because you can't. Like, I'm so glad I don't have to worry about that. I'm very fortunate where I don't put any of that crap on a credit card, but I have to go work extra shifts and do stuff to get that money. Dude, it's like, it's out of control. Like, per one kid, if you figure I've got $1,200 in team fees, a $600 uniform, so that's $1,800 plus it's $2,000 just to play. So I'm at $3,800 a kid.
Dude,
to play for it. You know what I mean? So you're talking $7,200 or $7,600 just to play club sports for the year between the two kids.
And would you,
not including travel, food, anything, just for them to be there.
See, and I wouldn't do that. Call me a bad dad. I'm not doing it.
You're not a bad dad. I said the same thing when they were 7. So I understand it. Maybe you won't, but it's just here's what they do. And I'll tell you what happened. Is Lexi got caught. She played rec. She was only going to play rec. And then a club coach saw her and called her and said, hey, we want you to play, and here's what we're doing. We're building a team, and it's going to be the price is usually $2,000. We're only going to charge you $600. Try it out, see if you like it, see if it's for you, whatever. How are you going to tell your kid no the next year, bro? That's how they got me. That's how they get. So beware. Tell them no. Tell them no from the beginning.
I can tell you right now. That happened with Benson. I said no. He's not doing it. I mean, first off, he was 6.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
gotta
dude,
wait.
No,
he's
not going to do this now. But I told him no, because again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I will pay for the rec because it's fine. There's no stakes. He's having fun with it. But there's no way I'm paying for the club stuff because, again, and I told this to Shalade, because she's a coach for a rec. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
for a club,
yeah, for a rec club. Yeah, not a rec club, a club, right? A club team. And the amount of money that I know those parents pay for their kids to be a part of that is something like we will never be in a position to do that. And even if we were, I would rather save that money for them to have as an adult. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not disagreeing with you, but when Benton comes and says, hey, Dad, this is what I love. I want to play. Like, this is what I want to focus on. I'm telling you, it is so much harder to say no than you think. Because I did all that, dude. I'm telling you. I said the same thing.
I'm trying not to be dismissive of the point you're making because you have to take the knowledge of those that have been there before you and recognize that it's not coming from nowhere.
Yep.
You've been there before me. I have to accept that. But I will say this. Benton told me today he wants to be a professional soccer player. I'm like, buddy, we got a backyard with a huge patch of grass and a goal at the end of it. You've never once gone out there and tried to do it by yourself. So.
Yeah, Michael Jordan was playing in the backyard as a kid. Remember?
Exactly.
Space Jam.
Dude, I remember Space Jam. There's a documentary.
Yeah.
I know how Michael Jordan got there.
Yeah.
But for real, it was one of those things where I'm like, listen, you can say that now, and I know it's fun for you and you like it, but until I see you out there doing dribbling drills and shooting the ball, trying to hit the top left corner every single time, I ain't going to buy it, buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay.
See, it's that 7-year-old. He's like, all right, fine. I'll go play back to playing whatever I was doing.
I'll back up. He's just going to continue watching the game with me. That's the one thing I do love. He's gotten to that point now. He does love watching the game with me. All right, so you're on the side of rather have a hockey team, not an MLS team.
Yeah, because if you're saying men's, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think if you get a men's team, you're going to get a women's team. Because for me, the biggest hurdle in Arizona is the venue. We got to get an indoor stadium. Because you can't play that you can't play it here in the summer. I know that the Phoenix Rising have had themselves like a pretty solid following.
Yeah.
Dude, their games start at 8 p.m. because they have to do it when the sun's
it's still 108 degrees.
And it's still hot. So it's one of those things where I'm like, no, I don't know which is easier to build because we've already built a hockey arena that sits empty and does a concert every once in a while in Glendale. So is it easier to build a 30,000 seat indoor soccer arena or stadium? Maybe.
It's bigger. How many yards is a hockey field?
It's like a basketball court, from what I understand.
That's tiny.
It's an ice rink?
90 to only 90 feet.
It's about that. It's like an ice rink. It's basically like a basketball court. Because think about it, dude. When they first came here, they were playing in America West Arena, now the Footprint Center. But the reason why they didn't stay there is because apparently it had like obstructed views from some of the columns and things like that don't really play into watching basketball. I would have to have a hockey expert tell me the difference. But from what I understand, a hockey ice rink is really not all that different from an NBA-sized basketball court. Are you looking it up right now?
Oh, I'm looking it up because I feel like it's way bigger.
And Tell me what you find out. So what is it?
So it's 200 feet. So it's more than double the size of an NBA court long. And I think it's how long is the 3-point line? It's 23 feet, the 3-point line, right? From
It's
the
longer
center.
than that. I think it's 25 in the NBA.
Yeah, okay, so it's something. So what is their side? I think it's 30. Is it 30 feet sideways?
The width?
The width of an NBA court, I think, is 30 feet. I want to say. I may be wrong because it's got to be longer than 10 yards. It may be 45. But anyway, it's 200 feet in length and it's 85 feet in width. So you're talking, almost a football field long.
According to Goalrilla.com, Goalrilla, it's an NBA basketball court is 94 feet long, 50 feet wide.
50 feet. So
what's the hockey arena?
Hockey is 200 feet long and 85 feet wide.
Okay, so it's obviously bigger.
Yeah.
It just somehow gets played in a lot of basketball arenas.
Which is what they do is they probably take out all the floor seats. They're all gone.
Yeah,
and you probably take out all that back because it's just little. It's not really that much wider, but it makes sense. I guess that's why.
Okay, so the hockey arena, we have one here. They're not. If they bring back a franchise, they're not going back to Glendale because that's the reason why the Coyotes failed to begin with. Well, not the reason, but a contributing factor. So I think I would rather have the indoor soccer arena, or I keep calling it arena, stadium.
Yeah.
Because I think of the other sports that we could get to play on it. I know I'm a little bit partial to this because my brother-in-law plays rugby, but we could get a rugby team that would be able to play there. Because the one thing we have to do, nobody's playing at State Farm Stadium. Or is that what it's called now?
Yeah.
Still called State Farm Stadium? Mm-hmm. It's not something else? Nobody's playing with the Cardinal Stadium because the Cardinals have a complete monopoly on it. And they do their summer workouts there, training camps there. There's no schedule there for another team to come and use it.
Not like that, no. They host match like Copa America's been there 3 times.
Yes.
They just played there locally 3 games.
Yeah, and they do like motocross and Monster Jam and things like that. Yeah,
stuff like that.
I mean, they do other things, but the point I'm trying to make is if you were to try and say, all right, we're going to have another team playing there, that's not happening.
Bidwell's like, no.
Yeah, he's got that monopoly. He's got that locked down. So we would need a new indoor stadium, and I would imagine it had to be something that's centrally located because that's kind of what we should do on all of our sports arenas. Drives me nuts.
No, we need an East Side venue, bro.
I wouldn't say no to it.
Only because they have their West Side stuff. We don't have anything East Side.
No, we don't. But I would be fine to say, screw it. Let's put all of it in downtown Phoenix. Put it all in downtown Phoenix.
You can't. There's no place for it anymore.
Dude, there's so much crap there that's just garbage.
Well, I know, but there's people's homes. There's still people live in those garbage houses.
There's wide swaths of nothingness. Like you're telling me that you couldn't be able to go in there and be like, hey, you know what? We're going to clean this area
I'm sure somewhere off of, I get it. Somewhere you probably could figure it out. But
yes.
I don't know, bro. That's a lot of real estate for that kind of thing. Legacy, that whole property on Legacy, you could do it there. Like, you could do it in the back part of Legacy right now where they do all their mud runs and stuff that, like, there's nothing out there.
Yeah, but I'm still talking you have to do an indoor.
Oh, no, it is indoor. But my point is that's where you'd build it. At Legacy on the east side. Central's too busy. West side has Gila River Arena, and they have, or is it Gila River Arena? I don't know.
Yeah, Gila River, wherever the old Coyotes Arena is.
Yeah, they have that one, and then they have freaking the State Farm Stadium.
Yeah.
And they've got those Salt River, or the fields out there, right? On the Peoria Sports Complex and all that stuff. They've got everything they need on the west side. The east side is struggling with no professional venue sports at all. They don't do anything.
I say struggling. I don't know that I've ever considered myself to be struggling out here.
No, I'm saying for the sports
I know.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me that it was struggling. One of the reasons why it's in the west is because they have the space.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In East, the only thing we have right now is where Legacy, or I don't think it's called
Legacy Sports Complex.
That's the only place you can do it.
The bankrupt sports complex.
Yeah, which it's been bought out, I don't know, twice now by some other people.
Okay. So did you see that the initial sale price was $250 million, and then a guy bought it at auction for $25 million?
That's insane. If I had $25 million.
I know.
Golly. Seriously. I would be that, dude. I'd be good to go because they charge too much stuff. Like, you could figure some stuff out in there.
Dude, what's insane? We've talked about this. I think we talked about this on the show. Those 2 houses in the East Valley, one for $20 and one for $25 million or $30 million. In
Scottsdale?
No, here. One in Chandler.
Oh, yeah.
And
the one off of Queen Creek.
Yeah, $24,888,000.
It's got a go-kart or something.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, for the cost of that house in Queen Creek, you could have bought Legacy Sports Complex.
Dude, that's a much better buy.
Oh, much better buy.
because you can figure some stuff out.
Oh,
there,
that's
dude.
a revenue-generating thing.
Yeah, and they just, I don't know how Legacy went under, what they did or why, but they
ambitious.
They did it all. They built everything. All you have to do is maintain at this point. You spend $25 million and you're just maintaining, and you having. I would have tournaments every weekend. Like, it would never stop, dude. Constantly.
100%.
Constantly.
So with that being said, yes, dude, I would be all on board with it if we got something down here in the East. The one of the issues is it's population centers. Like, we're going to get enough people to come to wherever it is. Is there enough people that would travel east to come to whatever sports we've got?
There's a great movie I just watched. If you build it, they will come.
Did you watch it for the 4th of July?
No, you know what's funny is I don't know. Oh, dude, that was interesting, actually. So that was one of my dad's favorite movies because he loved baseball. Dude,
your dad loved baseball, and you were over here hating on it?
He always watched baseball.
Come on, man.
It was prior to pitch clock, so whatever.
Dude, you imagine how much more he would love it?
I know. So, but dude, watching that movie, dude, I can't tell you, I got so emotional.
Yeah.
It just, I don't even know why. Like, I sitting there on the couch, I flipped it on. It was like probably like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning because I can't sleep. So I'm like, I'll just go downstairs, watch TV, and that movie's on. I'm like, I'll start watching it, and I'm like, oh, and then just like a wave of emotion hit me on the couch, and I'm like, what the crap is going on right now? I don't even like baseball, but I'm watching this dang movie, and I'm emotional because my dad loved this crap.
That's it right there, dude. That's it right there. Yeah. All right, well, that is going to do it for tonight on this sports edition. We didn't even know what sports we even talked about, really.
It was good.
I would rather have, I'll put a bow on this one. I would rather have the MLS because of the other things that would come with it.
Within the stadium.
Right, because when you build a hockey arena, it's for hockey, and there's not much else you're going to bring into it.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on that.
I wouldn't disagree, but again, I just don't like the men's sports.
For
soccer, if I was going to choose, hockey's just more fun.
Yeah.
But.
No, I in that one I don't disregard. I don't disagree, at all, because the thing, it really is hard for me to watch these tournaments, those guys just falling down over nothing and then acting like they just lost a limb.
Yeah. And then as soon as they get the call,
boom, hop back up. All fine. Oh, it kills me. Yeah, anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. Hope everybody enjoyed the whatever we're going to call that episode.
The rant.
The rants. So stay fresh, you cheese bags.
Like Fat Kids in Dodgeball, we're out. The JJ and Puck Show theme song is written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Thank you to Highland Communities for the support of our show. You can find the JJ and Puck Show on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just Google us if you're confused. Remember to share the show with your friends and family. Subscribe wherever you listen. Buy a shirt, reach out to us, and place an order. Each shirt is $20, and if we can hand deliver it, we will, but if we have to ship it, it'll be $25. If you're able, feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to kfo.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That's ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. And thanks again to all who listen. We really appreciate your support for our show, and we hope to continue to grow.